Qué Golazo, Italy. Italy, are they the real deal? Well, at this point at Euro 2020, they look like the real deal. Another 3-0 win, this time at the expense of Switzerland. James Benge joins us to discuss Roberto Mancini's side and how good they look and their hopes of maybe reaching the final at Euro 2020. We also discussed Thursday's matches, including Denmark against Belgium, Austria against the Netherlands, and we talked some Copa America. And James Benge, because he's here, we'll talk about Sergio Ramos and what could possibly be next for him just as he leaves Real Madrid. And also Emile Smith Rowe, all the noise that surrounds the Arsenal star. Qué Golazo begins right now. Hey everybody, welcome to Qué Golazo, and with me is James Benge, our very own James Benge. Benge, how are you, my friend?
I'm okay. I had a weird 10 minutes since I just came on this pod. Shall I share the story with you?
Yes, please. I want to hear it.
I mean, we're pretending like I haven't had microphone issues just beforehand. That mean I'm repeating this bit.
I don't care. I want to hear the story because I haven't heard the story, so I want to hear it.
I never got that far. So, you know, I make cheap jokes on Twitter a lot, more than I should, more than when I should be working. One of which was at the expense of former advisor to number 10 Downing Street and once the most powerful man in the country, Dominic Cummings, about his Substack and how I don't think anyone's going to pay £200 a year to read his long blog posts. He did not like that. But it's very odd because he's, you know, was the most powerful, one of the most powerful men in the country, one of the most infamous men in the country, but he's not got a blue tick and he doesn't follow me on Twitter. So it took me ages to find out he'd replied to me.
What did he say?
He just said it'll be a while before he adopts the Athletics pricing policy of £1 a month or $1 a month or whatever it is they do. Please go and check out my chats with leading politicians. I'm hoping to make this into another podcast series to rival.
James, please don't get kicked out of the UK. And then, you know, please stop getting into fights with, you know, politicians over. I mean, I agree with you. Nobody's going to read his Substack, but still. Why doesn't he have a blue tick, by the way? That's interesting.
Well, I mean, it's so political, isn't it, getting the blue tick? I don't think many of our listeners won't have blue ticks, and you can't imagine how much your life changes.
It changes completely, everybody. It changes your life.
It's why he's such a bitter man, I would imagine, because he hasn't got that blue tick. But I know people at Twitter, Dom. I'll put a word in.
Yeah, listen, let's make it happen. Let's blue tick everybody. Well, I was really angry when Roger Miller wasn't getting a blue tick for so long, but it happened, I think, eventually. So thank the Lord for that. Welcome, everybody, to Qué Golazo. James Benge, of course, here with us. And this is our Euro 2020 episode, but we have plenty more, including Sergio Ramos leaving Real Madrid and some Emile Smith Rowe stuff, as well as some Copa America stuff. But we begin, James Benge, with Italy. Another 3-0 win, this time at the expense of Switzerland. They now top their group. They're perfect. They haven't conceded a goal in like 75 years. It's just amazing. Italy, the Renaissance under Roberto Mancini. How do you see this? Talk to me about Italy.
I think I'm in love. They are everything you want from because I think part of the joy of an international tournament is when you're a bit meh on a team, and they just blow you out the water. We don't get that at club level because things are a bit more of a slow build. And you see the highlights. Let's be honest, we haven't all been watching Italy's path through the Nations League. Maybe we should have seen the signs coming because they topped their Nations League group. They hadn't been conceding in qualifying. But I think we looked at that squad and we thought, you know, there's no superstar striker. The defense is old. The keeper's young. The midfield's good, but is it going to be too slow? Well, I don't think we'll ever know if the midfield's too slow because they never give the ball away. So they never have to chase after it. Maybe there's a teeny fly in the ointment with Giorgio Chiellini, him picking up an injury, but Insigne I'm sure you agree, they just have swagger. They play like they know they're going to win this competition. And I think that's half the battle.
Yeah, they're so good. I call them complete to many of the points that you just addressed. You know, they're so well balanced. They're very confident at the back. They have a world-class goalkeeper in Donnarumma. Their midfield is just, you know, like you said, they never give anything. And, you know, everything is just ticking. And then Fabrizio Romano said something interesting. You know, everybody is under the spell of Mancini. Like they all follow his lead, and you can see it, and it's great to see. Now, the only thing I would say, Benj, and I'm wondering your thoughts on this, is they've played Turkey and they've played Switzerland. I want to see what happens when they play a tougher nation. What do you think?
I think too. So we'll come on to talk about Turkey, and certainly I feel like they've let a few of the side down. Certainly let JJ down.
Yeah, and me. Yeah, I feel bad. Yeah,
dark horses, but they're good teams. Like I think there is a real skill to playing really good teams off the park, and again, if you so much of this, I talk about this whenever I come on these Euro 2020 pods. It's about how it's about your path through the tournament. England have a horrible one. Italy's looks like it may be quite favourable to them. They might not really need to play a great team until quite late, by which time you've got momentum, by which time you may have Chiellini back. We'll see. And I think what they have are the qualities that we see in the Champions League, in the Europa League, and in league competitions are well suited to success at any level. They have that possession-oriented midfield. They've got a really one flank that can just devastate any team with that Spinazzola-Insigne combination. I can't believe it's odd that they don't play together, because they seem to have that telepathic understanding where when Spinazzola cuts in on that right foot, Insigne goes wide. Yeah. But equally, Spinazzola is, for a right footer, he's quite comfortable, I think, at holding that wide line. That means Insigne can go wander, and Barella, I think it is as well, pops outside really nicely. So I think by the time we see them get tested, that swagger that we saw might just be at an 11 out of 10. And I mean, I would still put France ahead of them, but increasingly, and I did my power rankings, it was only France ahead of them. And right now I feel like we're not a million miles away from it saying France and Italy are the best two in the tournament.
Yep, I think I agree with you. There's not much. I mean, look, when you can do this even without Marco Verratti, it's pretty impressive, And next up for them is Wales, James Benge, a Welsh team that really delivered against Turkey. Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey just talk about telepathic relationship. I mean, they were on fire in that one. Talk to me about Wales.
Gareth Bale, I don't know what this is. It's not the Gareth Bale we know, but
yes, Tottenham fans and Real Madrid fans are so angry. Right?
I haven't seen this guy, but I mean, credit to Wales for maximising his abilities. He's still got a burst. He's still got quick feet, but he's not fast anymore. But he's got that mind. He has a left foot, which I believe you have to refer to as a wand. Can't call it anything else. And playing in that sort of free role, it's not a role that a club team would afford him. Like, he's brilliant. I think it was Duncan Alexander that tweeted, he made 5 clear-cut chances in this game. No player had ever made 5 clear-cut chances since 1980, which is when the data goes back to in the Euros. Here's the best bit. No player had ever made 4 clear-cut chances at a Euros game that they have the data for. Like, amazing, brilliant. Credit to Aaron Ramsey as well. I think what we're seeing with him is the best of him, just like we saw at Euro 2016. He is probably now a player that is going to be so hampered with injuries that he's a risk at club level. But let's be honest, we know he's had his eyes on this tournament for a while now, same as Bale. Playing for Wales means so much to these players, and on their day, they've proven today they are world class.
Yeah, absolutely. The free roll really favors Gareth Bale. It was amazing how much space also he had, to utilize that from this Turkish side, which once again, we come back to it, everybody. I'm just so angry because listen, and it's justifiable to me that anybody would say, look, watch out for Turkey, watch out for Turkey. They took 4 points out of France in the qualifiers. They beat Netherlands 4-2. They're good. They're good, but
tired though.
They look tired. They look flat. No creativity. I get it. Italy was so good, but it's kind of like they allowed Italy to be so good. And today, the same thing. Just really annoying. JG and I are both really annoyed, basically. We're really annoyed, Bench, at Turkey because we really thought they were going to do more.
I still think them and Switzerland are really underwhelming good teams. 3 point. The challenge right now, and Turkey know this well, 3 points may well get you through, but it will come down to goal difference. Yeah. And theirs has taken a bit of a hammering right now. So they're going to need to turn around. I mean, they're going to need to thump Switzerland, or hope that a few more teams have bad goal difference. I think last time out, Northern Ireland were the bottom of the 4 teams and they had 3 points and a 0 goal difference. So, it's hard. I think Turkey may well win that last game, but it probably won't be enough.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it will be enough. It's too late for Turkey. All right, let's talk about Thursday's matches. Of course, the Ukraine faced North Macedonia, Denmark against Belgium. That's a goodie. And the Netherlands against Austria. Where do you want to go, James Benge? I'll give you a choice here. Where do you want to start with on Thursday's matches?
I mean, it's the biggest game. It's really, it's really tough to talk about, isn't it? To talk about in footballing terms what is going to happen at the Park and Stadium tomorrow, but there's still games to be played, and it is one that I think all of Europe is waiting for, and I'm sure I speak for many others when I say we'd really like, whatever the result. I hope Denmark fans have something to celebrate, some special moments. So dispiriting seeing a team that the football side of this is relevant in the bigger picture, but of course, there is still football there, and it was really, I thought it was really sad just seeing this wonderful team, and I still think they're excellent, even without Eriksen, who is their best player. They're creative pivot, the heart of this team, and I remember I was saying they could make the semi-finals off Eriksen set pieces and their strong defense and attack.
Yeah, no, they're very good. Yeah.
And that might still happen. I would not write this team off. And Matthias Jensen, he's not been doing it at the same level, but a great playmaker at Brentford.
It's hard. They have to face Belgium, a Belgian side that obviously looks so good. Romelu Lukaku looking excellent. To your point, things are more important than football, but football does need to be played. I believe Kasper Schmeichel said a few things to you, or not to you, or maybe to you. I don't know, but he said some good quotes about collectively trying to get this done for Eriksen himself, right?
Yeah, I think the fact that Christian seems to be okay. And is in good spirits has really helped. I think it sounds like, from what they're saying, has helped the Danish camp kind of get back towards football. And I know Jimmy was saying, are they going to be in the right mental state for this game? We don't know, and we won't know until after the game. Yeah. But it's interesting seeing Kasper Schmeichel say, actually now we're going to win the tournament for Eriksen. And we all know that there are 1,000,001 ways in which a group of men, group of women, anyone could react to this situation, and it doesn't feel impossible that actually doing it for a really good friend that can kind of bring something special out of this Danish team. Look, I hope so. I think they're a wonderful team, and a team I wish we kind of got to see in their entirety. And I still think that they do still have, in pure footballing terms, they do still have a defence that will buckle but won't break against Belgium. They do still have strong aerial presence, and Belgium, of course, do still have Romelu Lukaku, but also an old defence that maybe if you get a bit of pace running out, you might get a bit of joy. I really hope so. I don't want to sound like king of Denmark, but I would like Denmark to win desperately.
Well, absolutely. I really love the fire from Kasper Schmeichel, just saying we're going to do this for our boy, and who knows. Who knows? This is, as you said, this was a very good Danish team as they headed into this. And if they can get something out of this Belgium game, then anything is possible, because their final game's against Russia, and they can beat Russia. They can make it happen. So, and Finland still would have to play Belgium in the last game. So things can go in their favor. I think Kasper Schmeichel's bigger message, I think, even subconsciously, is no matter what, we are going to go out there for Christian Eriksen. And it will be a heroic thing and a tremendous thing. And let's at the very least hope to see some smiles for Danish fans in that game. What do you expect anything out? Do you think Denmark can do it? Maybe a point? How do you see it?
Yeah, I actually do think they will get a point. It's a hard one to read, but I tend to think that these guys are the sort of people who have used adversity and setbacks, because they will all have suffered them in their lives, and none will be like what's happened with Christian, but they all know how to respond to adversity. So yeah, I think they're going to get a point.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's a Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Should be a good one. Netherlands also plays Austria. Anything on that one? Frank de Boer, not our favorite friend here at Qué Golazo. We're kind of tough on him, but what do you make of it against Austria?
Someone in my group chat was going, "Oh, well, look, that attack's going to win they're going to win so many games with it." No. I think Belgium, please clip this out when they win the final. I think the Netherlands are a bit rubbish. I think Austria are sort of a slightly lower level of team that have good result but look a bit rubbish.
Yeah,
so that is very much a derby of teams that really underwhelmed me despite their results. I'm kind of more hyped for Ukraine, North Macedonia, because maybe it's just my contrarian ways, but I thought Ukraine were really, really good in that game. And still,
it was the game, one of the games of the tournament, 3-2, and they looked up for it. Yeah, so I guess North Macedonia as well. I mean, you can't help but root for them, right? Just such a great story. But yeah, I mean, that's also a good game. How do you see that one? A goal fest?
Yeah, I think again, because what is victory for North Macedonia here? Probably like every goal they score. I think we saw the way
anything.
Pandev.
Yeah,
they're not going. I think teams at this level at major tournaments, what they tend to do is sort of go, well, if we concede 3, but we get 1, that 1 is worth it. So I think they tend to be a bit more open. And Ukraine have got lots of good creative players. Malinovsky, I thought, had a great game. And I love watching Andriy Yarmolenko. I don't know what Luis, I'm sure you can explain for American listeners what Primark is, or Primani. But he's like a Primark Iron Robin cutting in onto his left foot. He's going to do it.
Primark is like everybody's like I'm trying to think of a clothing store here. Target's a bit even too good, I think, for.
Yeah, it's very like you're buying your kids shorts or whatever, or school uniform that they're about to grow out of.
Yeah.
So you're not spending a lot of money on it.
No,
so
I heard that. Yeah. But I like it though. And I do see that out of Yarmolenko as well. Obviously managed by the tremendously friend of the show, by the way, Andrei Shevchenko as well. One of the first episodes here at Qué Golazo. So we'll see what happens in that one.
Looking very handsome as well, Andrei.
Yeah. I mean,
Athletic did a power ranking of the most stylish managers or something.
Who wins?
Mancini.
I mean, with that Giorgio Armani suit, he has to.
But
right?
he's not doing the work there, is he?
Yeah, true. Luis Enrique looked good, I thought.
Cargo trousers, mate. What do you need the pockets for?
Yeah, my wife said exactly the same thing, and she's very.
What is in these pockets?
I don't know, but it looks good. I mean, who else? Okay, who else is out there then? Shevchenko looks good.
I mean, look. I know every time I come on this podcast, I just drop some pro-English agenda, but Gareth Southgate, nice knitted tie. I love a knitted tie.
He looks decent. He looks decent.
He does. He looks wedding. He's got a wedding after this game.
Yeah. Like somebody that didn't want to go to his cousin's wedding, but has to go, but looks good. Yeah. All right, fine.
Shevchenko, though. He's winning.
No, Shevchenko probably wins. I agree. All right, everybody. We're going to take a break. When we come back, James Benge sticking around because we have some transfer news. Obviously, transfer news never stops. So come back with us. Qué Golazo. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Qué Golazo. Here with James Benge, our very own James Benge. Let's begin with Sergio Ramos. Comunicado oficial from Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid fans kind of knew it was coming, obviously. Sergio Ramos leaving Los Blancos. Is going to be a presser, maybe even as you're listening or watching this, it's already happening on Thursday. I just like Messi in Barcelona, the possibility of an exit. The idea of Sergio Ramos and no Real Madrid is kind of incredible. Talk to me about this exit. What do you think is next for him? What do you think is next for Real Madrid? No Zidane, no Sergio Ramos, changing of the guard, so to speak.
Yeah, I still don't believe it's happening. I still won't believe it's happening when he signs for another club. It's real. I think the fact that he's held this threat at Real Madrid so often over the past 5-10 years, I'm just like, But until he's done what Real Madrid describe as a telematic press conference, which I'm sure is just like my Google Translate being bad. They also said an institutional act of tribute, which does make me feel like this is all going to end in them going, no, actually, we've given him a 10-year contract. But I guess.
I mean, he better get like a really amazing tribute. I mean, Zidane's exit was terrible. I mean, but whatever. But Sergio Ramos deserves like a major virtual tribute, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we all, whenever he was playing against your team, or whenever he was playing most of the time, if you didn't support him, you kind of hated him, but you had to admire him. A wonderful footballer. I hope he stays around the European game. I can sort of see him maybe going on like a vendetta tour. I'd love it. Let's go join Poch at PSG. I mean, that would be my gut reaction. I haven't seen much reporting on this.
No match. We got our boy Romano obviously on it. I keep WhatsApping him every 5 seconds. He's like, I'll let you know. But yeah, PSG is one of them. Some people are asking about Sevilla, his first love. I mean, I really doubt that he would do that, but you just never know. With Sergio Ramos, no, go ahead.
Considering he wasn't willing to sort of take that pay cut at Real Madrid, it does sort of seem unlikely that Sevilla would be the option for him. I mean,
he probably wants to leave La Liga.
I would sort of, it's time for new adventures. I believe this is usually the bit where I, a European, am contractually obliged to say the MLS. I can't see anyone matching.
No, those. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe later, but not yet. I think PSG is the top choice. Serie A, perhaps. And the Premier League could be interesting. You never know.
I think he needs to wait for wherever Antonio Conte goes, because
that's a good point. Yeah,
those two would be so combustible together.
Yeah, but it's the end of an era with Sergio Ramos leaving Real Madrid. Why don't you tweet us, Qué Golazo Pod, James Benge on Twitter, Emile Echegaray on Twitter. Where do you think he's going? It should be very intriguing in the next couple of weeks for the Spanish center back. All right, another one here. And by the way, this is a piece that you can read on CBS Sports. James Benge, I feel like Villa's trolling Arsenal at this point. But Emile Smith Rowe, obviously originators from the Athletic, David Ornstein, about, getting an offer from Villa, obviously rejected $35 million. Naturally, I mean, come on, you got to reject that. That's ridiculous. But the narrative continues. What's the latest on him? What's going on? Is he staying? Are there more suitors? What's up?
Right. So, I mean, in terms of that bid, you're not going to like me for saying this, but for me, it didn't seem like a power move by Aston Villa so much as telegraphing the possibility that they think Jack Grealish might go this summer, because there's no real reason to go for, they're well stocked in those areas, but that's as it is. Speaking to people at Arsenal, of course that bid was rejected immediately. I'm told that if Aston Villa had offered triple that money, it would have been rejected immediately.
Yeah, not surprised. Yeah.
Sale. Absolutely not for sale. The other team that hold a particularly strong interest in him and did raise his name in dialogue, Real Madrid, who said when they were discussing Martin Ødegaard's potential return to Arsenal, asked whether Emile Smith Rowe could go the other way on a permanent deal. Obviously, that's all been reported elsewhere. Kind of one of the things I wanted to add to piece for CBS was why this deal has taken so long. I think it's worth knowing because we talk a lot about these contracts, and obviously I think there's a strong expectation, especially from Arsenal side, that he will stay. They'll eventually pay what he wants, and it should be said they know the salary that he wants. They have not made an offer to match that yet. It's been 6 months since they initially broached a new contract with Smith Rowe. It's basically in the aftermath of his brilliant performance against Chelsea. They said, we want to get you signed to a new deal. Talks really accelerated around April, still no agreement in sight. Arsenal, right now, are burning through an awful lot of business. Offer today of £40 million for Ben White, rejected by Brighton. I'm told that 50 million may not be enough to get that deal done. So that's a huge investment at a time when, one might take the view that why are they not kind of investing in their own homegrown young talent in Smith Rowe? Also working on a deal for Lokonga, and that should be one they can do for around 20 million euros. Also working on a lot of outgoings. Granit Xhaka close to Roma. Matteo Guendouzi close to the exit door. Dortmund, it seems, are trying to get in on that at the very last minute, but looks like Marseille there. Dinos Mavropanos being sold. They've got a boatload more players they'd like to sell. I think there's potentially a risk here that, with relatively limited bandwidth, you don't kind of prioritize this Smith Rowe renewal. as you need to. And that's what Villa are thinking. That's what Real Madrid are thinking. Let's try and shake up the situation a little bit here. Let's see what we can do. See if we can convince Smith Rowe to leave. I think that would be really hard. He's Arsenal through and through. And I'm sure this will end with him signing a new contract, but it's just something Arsenal don't need right now to be worrying about the future of another one of their star boys.
Yeah, no, well said, well reported, and it's true. Just the noise is not something Arsenal need right now. They need to focus on preparations for the summer and, of course, 2021-2022 season. And, the bid from Villa was a joke. I obviously, I'm going to give my Villa bias in. I don't think it was because of the Grealish thing. I think, hearing some murmurs from folks like Ashley Priest and stuff that, it's more about the intention of the ownership of Villa, but that offer was a joke. Like it was never going to be completely regarded. So it is interesting to see, but regardless, to your point about Arsenal, I don't think it's something that they need right now. So the quicker that contract is signed, the better. Anything else to add from that, by the way? Anything else that's going on around specifically the Premier League, Arsenal, or anyone else?
Premier League fixtures have dropped today. That's quite exciting news. Every team will play every other team home and away between August and May. There's a couple of horrible runs. I mean, but everyone has horrible runs. There's like 10 really good teams. I mean, one thing when I was looking at it for my team, I'm sure you're the same, Reece, I was like, oh God, there are about 4 runs there where a manager could lose their job. And I think when you look at other teams' fixtures, it's the exact same.
Yeah. No, it's true. So in a way, they were very, they were very fair, the Premier League fixtures to everybody. Villa's away at Watford to start the season, home into Newcastle. Who's Arsenal got in the first weekend?
Brentford away. I mean, the big one, though, that's Man United Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah,
it could be, is that at? I can't remember which one that's at, but whichever ground could be full capacity. Difficult to know at the moment.
And if that's Leeds United or Old Trafford, actually should be really interesting. Tottenham host Man City, I think, opening weekend as well. That should be intriguing.
Harry Kane back at his home ground.
Harry Kane will be part of that game in one way or another. We will see what happens. James Benge, always a pleasure, my friend. Final thoughts before you say goodbye. Anything that you want to say? Did you annoy any more politicians before the end of this taping?
No, but you know what? We have completely forgotten to talk about Finland, Russia.
Oh, go on then. Talk to me about Finland, Russia.
I've got nothing to say about Finland, Russia. but
Pookie doesn't look 100% fit. I'll just tell you that. And Norwich fans will be a little angry and hope that he comes back at least ready for preseason, especially in the Premier League.
I spent quite a lot of time, the game Mortal Kombat.
Of course.
Where it ends with finish him.
Yep.
And the Poyampalo goal goes in and I'm like, I reckon I could meme that with a little bit of finish him.
Did you do it?
I did, VAR. Everyone says the referees are having a worldie, but they did me no favors there.
Oh, that's right, because it was very early on, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. VAR got in the way. God, that is true. Well, we did talk Finland Russian, so if you're Finnish and you're listening to this, don't say that we didn't talk about that game. So there you have it. James Benge, thank you so much, my friend. After this break, everybody, we got Copa America, a little bit of context because Thursday as well has Copa America, because if you didn't think you needed enough more football, well, we have it. But James Benge, thank you so much, bud.
Cheers.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Qué Golazo. This is your Copa America segment for Thursday, and it's Group A action as Colombia takes over and faces Venezuela at 5 p.m. Eastern, while Peru, my Peru, face the host Brazil at 8 p.m. Eastern. As I mentioned, this is Group A action. And just a little bit about the table. Brazil leads that group with 3 points. Colombia with 3 points as well, but Brazil have a better goal difference. Peru haven't played yet, so this is their first game after arriving to Brazil earlier in the week, and Venezuela in last place as well. And I would imagine that both these games are going to be intriguing, to say the least. Brazil, of course, are the favorites against Peru, but Peru coming in with a rotated squad under Ricardo Gareca. We'll see what Santiago Ormeño, the Mexican-Peruvian striker, his first stint with the Peruvian national team, they can do. Of course, Peru-Brazil was the final in 2019 Copa America, where Brazil won as well. And on the other side, Colombia, Venezuela. Well, Venezuela has been, affected tremendously by COVID. A lot of players, including 16 people within their group, were tested positive for COVID. A lot of them were players as well. It's been a very, very difficult time for Venezuela to get anything going in Copa America. So you would imagine that Colombia will take care of business in this one. So stay tuned for that one. Copa America, 5 p.m. Eastern, Colombia, Venezuela, 8 p.m. Eastern for Peru, Brazil. Hey everybody, I want to thank James Benge for joining me today. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Qué Golazo Pod. We are also on Apple Podcasts. Please leave a 5-star rating and review. We'd love to get those so we can grow this family of ours. If you're watching this on YouTube, you already know we're on YouTube, youtube.com/Qué Golazo. Please subscribe and spread the word, because that's another place where you can watch all the videos, etc., etc. We're on CBSSports.com, your CBS Sports app. Have a great rest of your day.